examples of what is called blindness and so on. Okay. That is the classification between positive and negative terms. Next one is the classification. We are classifying terms into particular and universal terms. Particular and universal. Terms are divided into particular. Other one is universal. Now, what is the difference between, or the distinction between particular and universal terms? Particular terms refer to one or more individuals of a class, but not the whole class. So when we do not refer to the whole group, we refer to part of the group. It may be one, it may be the maximum, or they have almost everyone, but if one is left out, there are only 100 people. But even if we are referring to 99, it is a particular. When we do not refer to the whole group, then it is a particular term. For example, we are given examples like some men. When you use some men, that means we are not referring to all people, all men, only out of all the men, some, a few students, a boy, etc. They are all particular. So the meaning is not the shape, whether the term is referring to the whole group or part of the group. Part doesn't mean, even if only, as I told, even if one is left out, still it is a particular. If insofar as everyone is not included, it is a particular. Then, as different from that one, universal terms refer to all the individuals of a class. Everyone, not even one is left out. All men or man. Simply using term man, it is not a particular. Man is rational animal. We are referring to whom? Not one man, referring to every human being. Therefore, the term man refers to is a universal term. Or each man. Each man should be what's called rational. That means we are not referring to a few persons, we are referring to all the human beings. So, however, whatever be the way in which it is expressed, insofar as the term refers to every one of a group, of a class, then it is universal. When part of the group is referred to, then it is particular. And so you look at the term. So it is not, don't look whether it is singular or plural. That is not the way of criteria. So man, it is singular, but then it is universal. Man is singular, but it is universal. But so therefore look at the meaning, and then we can find the difference between the two. But then another important distinction comes here regarding the universal terms. Universal terms can be used distributively or collectively. Distributively or collectively. Two ways of using the universal terms. We already know what is a universal term. A term that refers to the whole group of the class. Whole group. Nobody is left out. All trees, all humans, all animals, and so on. When we refer to the whole group without leaving out anyone, it is a universal term. Now we are making a subtle distinction. Logic is, as we have already seen, logic is making things clear, clarity and precision, to be precise. So we are making it more precise by making a distinction among the universal terms. Some universal terms are distributively used, some universal terms are collectively used. Collective and distributive. How do you make that distinction? In the collective use, what is predicated is true of a class as a whole. Collective, I example and clarify. Collective use, we are using a term in the as a whole to the whole class. But not each and every member of the class. We are speaking as a whole, we are speaking. That's a collective use. Example will clarify. The other one, in the distributive use of the universal term, what is predicated is true of each and every member of the class. So there we are distributively to each of the member of the class, it will be applied. It is a little, this is now slowly you are coming, what is called, the head is getting heated up now for some, because what is called making distinctions, subtle distinctions we are making. So example, first I give a difficult example, then we come to the easier example, or maybe the other way we will do it. Yeah, the easier example is, Indians constitute 1/3 of Asians. One example. Indians constitute 1/3 of Asians. Indians we are referring, what is a universal term. We are referring to Indians. All Indians. There, all Indians, that we not use that term. So Indians constitute 1/3 of Asians. How this particular universal term is used? It is used in the collective sense. Why? Because Indians, we are referring here, Indians as a whole. Not every Indian is not constituting 1/3 of Asians. Indians, all Indians constitute 1/3 of Asians. The other one example is Indians, Indians are Asians. So Indians, there it is again a universal term. How it is used? It is used distributively. Indians are Asians, not Indians as a whole. Each and every Indian is an Asian. But in the case of Indians constitute 1/3 of Asians, we are not referring to each Indian is constituting 1/3 of Asian, but Indians as a whole. I give another example which for it, same point, to show the distinction between the distributive use and the collective use. Now try to understand. All the angles of a triangle are equal to 2 right angles. Collective use. Second one is, all angles of a triangle are less than 2 right angles. Distributive use. Now, what does it mean? Try to reflect and try to find out how one is used, all angles. When you say all angles, you understand the meaning of all angles of a triangle. So this is a triangle. And all angles of a triangle, what is the first example I gave? All angles of a triangle are less than 2 right angles. Those of you remember what you have studied in algebra, not algebra. Yeah. All angles of a triangle are less than 2 right angles. What is right angle? Right angle is 90 degree. Are less than 2 right angles. Here all angles of a triangle, we are referring to each and every angle of a triangle. However, whatever be the shape of the triangle, it can never be less. It will be always less than 2 right angle. 2 right angle is 180 degree. 2 right angle. 90 degree is one right angle. 2 right angle means 180 degree. 180 degree, where do you get? A straight line. So this is 180 degree. And this is 90, this is 90. So that is the meaning. So if it is so if you refer to whatever be the shape of the triangle, all angles of a triangle, or here means all angle means each and every angle of a triangle is less than 2 right angles. Each and it can never be 2 right angle, it will be always less than 2 right angle. The other one is again all angles of a triangle are equal to 2 right angle. There what do I mean? There we are speaking all angles are not each angle. All angles of a triangle together constitute 2 right angles. Those of you who remember will understand the meaning. That means adding together the 3 angles together, we get 180. Whatever be the each angle, it will be together 180. That means 2 right angle. So there in the second case, all angles of a triangle constitute 2 right angle. There we are referring to all angles together. In the first case, all angles of triangle are less than 2 right angle. There we are referring to each and every individual angle of a triangle. So there, in the first case, or whatever be the first or second, when you speak about all angles of a triangle are less than 2 right angle, there we are using distributively. All angles, universal, but distributive use of the term. But in the other case, all angles of a triangle constitute 2 right angle. We are referring to all angles together. Collective use of the universal term. Logic is this one. Precision, clarity, no loose talk. So we are slowly becoming precise. We are entering into that one. So slowly that is, otherwise we speak, but then we speak without knowing what we are speaking. Now we are clarifying, little by little we are clarifying. I hope the distinction is clear. The other example is easier to understand. Indians constitute 1/3 of Asians, all the Indians together. But Indians are Asians, they are each and every Indian. So when you refer to each and every one of a class, then we are referring to the, what is it called, distributively. When you refer to the whole thing together, Indians constitute 1/3 of Asians, we are referring not each Indian, but all Indians together constitute 1/3 of Asians. There we are using it as a collectively. So that is so universal terms can be used either collectively or distributively. Then another distinction that is made is between the terms can be divided into univocal, equivocal, and analogous. Important distinction. It will come up again. It will come also in other philosophers. Univocal. What is the? How do you clarify each of these terms? Univocal terms. Univocal terms are used of many objects exactly in the same sense. For example, chair. I am saying this is a chair, that is a chair, the chair over there is a chair. I am using the term chair in the same sense. Although the chairs may be of different shape, different color, different made of different material, but the term chair is used in the same sense. Most of the terms that we use are univocal. Most of the terms, otherwise we will not be able to understand. Most of the terms are used in the same sense. Even if we are using about that is a tree, teak tree also is a tree, plantain tree also is a tree, although totally different in shape. But I am using the term tree in the same sense, univocal sense of, or univocal terms. As I told, most of the terms are univocal. Then we come to the other one, the opposite. Equivocal. Equivocal terms are used of different objects in totally different sense. No connection at all, no relation. For example, some of the terms like bar, bull, some of the terms may not be familiar to you. A coach, his coach is clear. Coach has got it can be applied to a person insofar as he is a trainer of some sports or games. But coach can be applied also to a railway bogie. No connection at all. But then the same term is used of two different objects in totally different sense. The meanings are totally different. So when a term can be used in totally different senses, they are equivocal terms. Page. Page has got the meaning of page of a book, a side of a paper. That is the page. But page has got another meaning, a servant boy. If we look at the dictionary, we can find a page, a servant boy. Blind. Blind has the meaning of a, what do you call the absence of sight. That is the ordinary understanding. There is also another meaning for blind. You can find in the dictionary. Blind means a windscreen. A screen that is put, that light may not come in at the same time, air can come in. A windscreen, either made of bamboo or made of plastic, that is called a blind. Another meaning, totally no connection at all between blind as absence of sight and blind as a windscreen. Totally different meaning it is used. Balance. Balance can be used. What is the balance that I get? That means what is, after having paid a certain amount, what is the balance? There is a balance also for weighing something. So that is also a balance. So totally different senses. So there are a few terms which can be used of different objects, different phenomena, but in totally different meaning. That is, they are equivocal terms. They are not many, but there are some terms. The third one is analogous terms. Analogous terms stand midway between equivocal and univocal. That means they are used partly in the same sense and partly different sense. Equivocal means totally different, no connection at all. Railway bogie and the trainer have no connection at all, totally different sense. But here, analogous terms are partly same sense, partly different sense. So, for example, head. The term head, the head of the family, we use so and so the head of the family, head of the state, head of the church. We use the term head, but what is the primary meaning of head? The part of the body which is the most important part of the body. That is one meaning. But so this is the head. That is one meaning. Other one is so and so is the head of the family. So and so is the head of the state. When you refer to when we use the term head, we are not using it totally different sense. It is partly same, partly different. Why we use so and so is the head of the family? Just as head is for the whole body, the most important, so also head of the family becomes the most important person in that family. So there is some similarities there. That is why it is called partly same and partly different. We use many examples are there. Healthy. Normally we use health with regard to the persons or any animals or creatures or trees, healthy plant. But we use also healthy with regard to healthy climate. Not because the climate has got better muscles. Healthy relationship and so on. Yeah. Climate is healthy. The food is healthy. We say healthy food but primarily it is used of the organisms which is healthy. Then, but the meaning is analogously used of a climate that is conducive for health. So similarity is similar, at the same time not the same. Sweet. Sweet is primarily used or sweet to the taste, pleasant to the taste. That is primary meaning of sweet. But then we say sweet music or sweet girl, sweet voice. So they are used analogously, not totally different, but what is called different at the same time same. So it is a same and different. They are called analogous terms. When you in metaphysics, you will study more about it, especially from the Thomistic metaphysics. There is a prime analogate is there. That means all the analogous terms primarily applied to something. Primarily, head is primarily applied to what? Head of the body. But analogously, we use the term head with regard to head of the family, head of the state, head of the church, and so on. So also sweet. Primarily, it is used with regard to what? With regard to the taste. Sweet to the taste, that is the primary meaning. But we use in an extended meaning, analogously, we use with regard to the persons, with regard to the piece of music, with regard to the voice, and so on. Anything can be, we can use the expression in a poetic or in an extended meaning. So, thus, these are the one distinction that you make in with regard to the terms. They are univocal when the terms are used in the same sense, used of different objects. But although the one tree is bigger and other one is small, both are trees. But I use the term tree in the same sense. Tree, not in a different sense. So when you use the same term of different objects in the same sense, they are univocal terms. When they are used of different objects, totally different sense, they are equivocal. When they are used partly same, partly different, not totally different, they are called analogous. In the analogous terms, there is always a prime analogate. Primarily, those terms are used of either part of the body as head, either that is sweet to the taste, but then analogously we apply that one to other things as well. That is extended meaning. They are analogous terms. So these are the another distinction that we make with regard to the terms into univocal, equivocal, and analogous. Nice topic here today.